Welcome to episode 42 of the Boy, Girl, Mom, and Dad podcast. This is just a quickie.
Is that the episode name? Or are we introducing ourselves? What's going on here?
Boy, girl, mom and dad here for the good times and the bad. Gender norms and stereotypes and making sure that the butts are wet. Boy, girl, mom and dad want grown-up time, you're going mad. It's a trip, but we'll guide you through with tips and tricks for boys and girls too.
That's the episode name.
Welcome to Just a Quickie with Nick and Lauren.
My name is Lauren, and this is my husband, Nick, and we host...
I will never get to introduce myself again, will I? We just did this at church, and I pitched to you, and you said, I'm Lauren. Try again.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren, and this is my husband.
Nick, you almost did it again.
Oops.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we're so glad to be here today. Originally, we were not going to record an episode. I was like, it's okay, Nick. Let's just take this week off. We're going to kick off a new series. It's fine. We'll introduce that in May. And then I realized that this week was the first Wednesday in May. And I was like, skirt, wait a minute. I actually do want to record this week. I have an idea. Just going to be a short episode, a quickie, if you will. And we'll introduce the series and go from there. So glad to be here. Glad you're listening. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for pulling me in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Me and Bunny and Packer are ready.
Yeah. So we start each week with a Tiff. I have one in mind, but because Nick complains that he doesn't ever get to do a Tiff, I'm going to give it to him. So do you have a Tiff off the top of your head, Nick?
What? I have had no time to think about this, and you told me there was no episode this week. So I've had even less time than normal. So why is this the one you're pitching to me?
I'm
Okay.
really easy to like get along with. There's not really
You
a lot
are.
of tips with me. Okay, well, I have one. You think about it for next week.
Whoa. Give me a second. Hold on.
While you're thinking, I'm just going to explain the Tiff. If you're new here, we each week start off the episode with a Tiff. It's just a fun way to kind of break the ice. And we like to get you, our listeners, involved and see which way you vote. Sometimes Nick and I pit each other against ourselves. Sometimes we're on the same side. So I don't know. Probably what he'll pick today is just going to be against me. So we'll see what y'all think.
You're setting me up for so much failure here. Okay, what's yours? I'll gauge if I like it.
Okay, so my idea, if you so decide to keep it, if you so choose, is which side of the shower do you get on if there's an option?
Do I get on?
Get in the shower. Which
Oh.
side do you get in if you have an option?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
No. If this baton is passing to me, I start it off, then you go. Okay? So do you like this one? Are we accepting this one?
sure.
All right. So there's nothing inherently wrong with getting in on a different side of the shower. But, when we're at our home, there is a door that doesn't move. So there's only one way to get in the shower. But
The right way.
at my parents' home, the Jack and Jill bathroom that mine and my sister's room shared, the one we shared growing up, there you go in, and if you're not familiar with the Jack and Jill bathroom, it's like an L shape essentially. So where
This
there's
is so much information. Sorry.
someone may not know what that is.
No, but that's not relevant to what you're saying.
Yes, it is. Okay, well, yes, because I'm going to talk about how the bathroom is set up. So anyway,
Okay.
room, and then we each have our own sink, vanity area with drawers, and then there's a toilet and a shower that is shared in the middle, like the knuckle of the rooms, if you will. So my point in sharing that is that the actual bathroom with the toilet and the shower is actually quite small. It's a square or rectangle, whatever, and there's a door on each side that leads into both our rooms. So anyway, it's a small space is my point. So you go in and there's the toilet and there's the shower right up next to it. I get in right there in front of the toilet, just right there. And Nick
Sorry.
likes to go
Nobody knows
around.
In front of the toilet could mean any side. You're not giving enough context. We now know the layout of you and your sister's room, but we don't know where the shower head is, which is why you brought this up.
Yes, so the shower head is in the back of the square, so you have to climb behind the toilet to get in by the shower head. Wait, stop.
A square has 4 backs. What are you talking about?
Anyway, my whole point is that Nick makes it weird and climbs in the shower from behind the toilet instead of going in the open space where the shower bath mat is. So I
do not climb behind the toilet. You're not describing this at all.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, you're interrupting me.
I know.
My whole point is that
the toilet.
There's not really space to climb in back there, and you like to climb in back there. I've seen you pull the shower curtain back the wrong way, not where the bath mat is.
I know what you're saying. Let me try and help you. True or false? You're saying I get in the shower under the shower head. You get in on the other side.
But I'm not.
Where the toilet is not relevant in the story.
It is, because I don't have to be like where the shower head is or not. I choose, if I can, the side that's not the shower head, so I don't get my hair all wet, because I don't wash my hair every shower.
Okay.
And so it's really just a matter of which side is the best way to get in, like the most open space to get in. I'm not going to climb behind the toilet to get in that way. So it's not less a matter of where the shower head is for me. And I think you like to climb in where the shower head is, but I think you typically always get your hair wet.
No, I climb in under it, and I go under like it's a waterfall. You know what I mean?
What a nice experience.
Reason is I don't trust the temperature of any shower, regardless of whether I've put my hand in there or not. They change all the time. I'd like to get in under there, feel the temperature with my feet, figure out what the right temperature is with the knob, and then we go in full bore.
But to me, I get in the other side because I also, like, you can test the shower temperature from going in the opposite side too.
Right, but how do you get to the knob to change the temperature?
You duck under.
No, you go through. If you go in your side, the only option is to go through the waterfall that could be searing off your skin or creating ice blocks on all your skin.
Anyway, skirt.
The headline is, don't climb behind a toilet to get into your shower.
Yeah, Nick, don't be weird. Anyway, what do you guys do? Let us know. We'd love to hear your answers.
Also, what's the layout of your bedroom? And is it a Jack and Jill? What's the architecture drawings of your house? I want to know everything.
The blueprint, please.
This is such a funny representation of like how much information you give for stories and how little I give. I would have just said, I get in behind the shower head. And you went full architecture mode. Anyway, I'm not making fun of you. It's just funny. They're different.
Yeah, they're different. That's why we made it a Tiff. So let us know what you think. This is
probably why you remember so much more than I do. Because you give context of everything.
I like all the details, and usually they have a spot for me in my brain of like how I remember things, where Nick likes headlines, and I've learned to give you headlines. Have I not?
Here's a detail. You're cute, and I like the way your brain works.
Oh, thanks. Love you.
Get in the right side of the shower, though. I don't know what you're doing there.
Okay. Anyway, this is episode 42. Last week was episode 41, and Nick had a little solo episode.
Mm-hmm.
An unapproved solo episode, not meaning it wasn't allowed, but I didn't know he was going to do it. He did it all by himself and surprised me with it.
I'm a real boy.
Okay, Pinocchio. So thank you, Nick, for doing that. That was a fun episode. It was called Mom Rage is a Dad Problem, and I encourage you to go listen to it if you haven't yet. But I kind of wanted to break down something you said. You said a couple times that like we're striving to be like perfect parents, or like we want to be perfect. And I think that what you meant was like we want to do the best we can, and we don't want to like harm our kids, and we want them to have, you know, the best life possible. But I kind of have to argue with you on that like I don't want to be a perfect parent. I'm not striving for perfection. And the reason why, and I've read it in several books and also just in my life experience as what I maybe is a recovering perfectionist. I know I still have issues there. That's why I said recovering. But it's helpful to see people, your parents specifically, make mistakes so that you know that it's normal and you don't beat yourself up, and that also you can see how to recover and like what to do, and know that it doesn't have to keep you down. You don't have to think about it like years and years later.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for listening to my podcast and my episode that I recorded specifically for you. So maybe I didn't say it well enough in that episode, but what I was trying to communicate, and I understand what you're asking here, what I was trying to communicate is that my goal is to pursue perfection as a parent with the knowledge that I will never be one. And in my mind, that includes showing my mistakes to my kids. So in my mind, a perfect parent, which again, I don't think anybody can actually be, is not one that always makes the right decision and doesn't make mistakes in front of their kids. It's one who always strives to be better and to teach while being a comforting presence, and like shows when they could have corrected themselves. So I think like your definition of perfect might be different than mine. Like perfect in my mind is not infallible.
Well, me and Mr. Merriam-Webster have a thought on what perfection and perfect means. So I think maybe your version of being a perfect parent isn't pursuing perfection as the definition, but pursuing to the best of your ability and showing your whole self versus just a part of it.
I mean, I think like it could also be described as I'm trying to be the best version of a parent that I can be. But I think like in attempting to be the best version I can be, I'm striving for that perfect vision of what it looks like. You know what I mean? So like to me, they're kind of the same. I don't, how do I say it? I know I can't be a perfect parent. I know that. But I have like this vision of what a perfect parent looks like that I'm trying to be, which motivates me to be the best version of a parent that I can be.
So,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're just saying your version of a perfect parent is not perfection. But that's what it sounded like in saying pursuing perfection. And so as someone who, like, when I say perfect, like that's to me 10 out of 10, 100%, no mistakes. And I think the mistakes are good things. But I think that you just defined it for yourself that that's not what you mean.
Well, not necessarily. Like I'm saying there's a difference between perfect and infallible. Like I'm not saying a perfect parent is a perfect person. That's where the owning up to your mistakes comes in. You see what I'm saying? So like in my mind, a perfect parent, when they realize their kid has seen something that they've done that they know they shouldn't do, they are owning up to their kid. They're owning the mistake. They're using it as a teachable moment for themselves and for their kid. Like that to me is pursuing perfection as a parent, but it's different than being infallible. Again, parents in my mind who are perfect aren't ones that can't screw up. I understand your point. I'm probably just not using the definition the way that you are.
The right way. Kind of like
well,
a shower.
I mean, so in your mind, then, like, is a perfect basketball player one who never travels?
Yeah, I don't think a perfect basketball player exists, Michael Jordan.
But
no, I do like Michael Jordan. I just think that that's a different word. I don't think that perfect is the right word here.
I'm fine conceding to say that I'm pursuing the best version of a parent that I can be. But that is what I meant.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. I just wanted to discuss it because someone like me is like, oh shoot, like I know in the back of my head there's no such thing as a perfect parent, but like telling myself I'm pursuing it, I think sets me up for failure mentally because I will like replay things in my head, and that's just not healthy for me. So like I can't say I'm pursuing perfection. I'm pursuing my best, and I think that isn't perfect.
I think this mirrors the different ways in which we see mistakes and being fallible. Because like again, if there's an issue or I screw up, I don't see that as being an irrevocable mistake or irreparable mistake. Like I see that as, I'm not saying this correctly,
but a mistake is not perfect. That's what all I'm saying.
I know, but there's a difference between a perfect parent and a perfect person.
But I just think, I think that, not to put a pin in it, but I think that just your definition is different, and that's what your definition of perfect is. But personally, I cannot use that word. And I think there are people out there like me who that is not a trigger word for me, but I know like I have to steer clear because I will like hyperfixate and
we're saying the same thing. Like I am comfortable pursuing something I know I will never achieve, when I think that you are probably less comfortable with that. Not to say one is right or wrong.
Yeah, I would rather in my head, not that I don't ever like stretch myself, but I don't know that I want to have as a goal something I will never achieve, because I'd rather have a goal that I could achieve, you know?
I get that. I do not want to criticize that. That is probably exactly where the difference is. But I'm fine. I agree with your assessment that maybe the word perfect is not correct. Maybe the word perfect isn't the perfect word. It's about pursuing the best version of the parent that you're able to be.
They also, of course, have their lovely, lovely silk pajamas that are a household fave in our home. But if you like cotton, especially as we go into summer, they have an organic Pima cotton set that I also have that is very good. And when you're buying for mom or yourself or your mother figure or a friend, you can use code
BGMAD
or a discount.
BGMAD. Go buy it.
I finally finished the 5 Principles of Parenting by Dr. Lisa Pressman, and she had a quotation in there from Dr. Donald Woods Winnicott, and he is an English pediatrician and psychoanalyst. And he said, "I would rather be the child of a mother who has all the inner conflicts of the human being than be mothered by someone for whom all is easy and smooth, who knows all the answers and is a stranger to doubt." And I really liked that, because again, it points to like, it's okay to not be perfect. No one is perfect. And exposing yourself to your children and like showing your mistakes and within reason, and like showing how you get up and, you know, move forward, I think is really important. Otherwise, they will have this false expectation of themselves and the world.
I fully agree with that quote. Fully agree with it.
I figured you would.
That's why I said earlier, like, it's not that there are no issues or mistakes that the parents are showing, it's how they're handling them, which inherently means they exist. So I'm in no way am I saying like my version of a perfect or best version of a parent would be one that doesn't screw up. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with the quote is my point.
Yeah. And then I started Dr. Morgan Cutlip's new book, Love Your Kids Without Losing Yourself. And she referenced him too in a different way. And I actually didn't realize at first it was the same person, because she called him D.W. Winnicott. It's the same guy. And I was like, wait a second. In my notes that I like randomly take in my phone, with, you know, like I just like random folders and just like, what is this? I had a folder already with that quote and I put it in. And when I was preparing this mini outline, I was like, wait a second, this is the same guy. So anyway, he coined the term the good enough mother. A perfect mother is detrimental, like saying that we would live in a perfect world. And so I really liked that, because you can be good enough, and that's actually better than being perfect. So this isn't like something against like what you said. That's just kind of how it led myself here. I had these quotations in my notes before you even published this podcast last week.
You're not building a case against it.
No. And I think maybe it's partially hard for you to understand, because I think there's a complex in being a mother. Not that fathers can't have it too, but this need to be like all the things to everyone all the time, which is kind of like perfection and not possible. And so I wanted to mention it just because I think there are parents out there, caregivers, who need to hear that like you can be good enough.
Yeah, I agree.
That's in your way of using the word perfect, because it just, you know, is best for your child, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you.
All that to say, today is May 1st, and May is Mother's Day. Mother's Month, will you? We need the whole month. And so I wanted to do a series on moms, like for moms. It's called, I think we're going to call it Dear Mama series. I haven't really done it's our podcast. We haven't really done like a specific collection of conversations on a specific topic, and these will be different topics, but I wanted to talk about moms specifically, information for them. We talk about parenting, and there are some episodes we've done that have kind of fallen into this category, but I wanted to focus on this because we need information too. It's not just about the kids, it's also about being the parent. Last year around this time we had episode 4. Can you believe we're on 42, and last year around this time was episode 4?
No.
So that episode was called Mother's Day and Miscarriage. So we talked about that. And we have a couple other episodes that do focus on moms, like episode 10, Do Mom Friends Exist in Real Life? Episode 25 is one of my favorites, the Supermom Myth. And I just wanted to uncover a lot of different topics. So stay tuned for that.
You said you don't have a series title yet?
I think I want to call it Dear Mama.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. Yeah, cool.
Mainly because all the things that are coming to mind are taken or like have already been used. Like, Hey Mama is actually a group that I'm in. And I keep thinking For the Moms, because my friend Katie, who I'm hoping to have on, has a For the Moms event. And so Dear Mama just felt good to me. And it is like a podcast love letter to you and information that serves you and your body and your mind.
Yeah, great.
While I'm mentioning older podcast episodes, April, which I know April is over, but April was Financial Literacy Month. And so I wanted to push episode 20, a conversation about money and kids, mainly also because we are now in the stage with our toddlers of, oh, can you just go buy some more? And they don't necessarily know what that means. And so it's
they are saying that to us.
Yeah. So like we're out of watermelon. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Cypress, we're out of watermelon. He goes, can you go buy some more? Like, yes, I can. But like, they're only 2.5, but we obviously want to start having like more money conversations around that.
Yeah, that's a great episode to go and listen. We should probably do another money one too, because expenses for kids and how you approach money is like a build on subject to what we initially discussed there.
Yeah, I agree. I ordered a new book called Bunny Money that's supposed to talk about just, money and saving and spending. And then I think one called like I'm Money or something like that. I can link them in the show notes for you.
I think Bunny would be excited to read that book.
Oh, all right. Like we are saying, May is for Mother's Day, and a great Mother's Day gift idea is from Lunya. I'm actually wearing Lunya right now. They don't just have pajamas. This is their organic Pima cotton t-shirt, and I like it because it's elevated, yet also just a comfy t-shirt. It has a nice little like slight puff sleeve detailing here. All right, I think that's all we have for this episode. Like I said, it was going to be short and sweet. I think it will go down in history as the shortest episode we've ever done, but just wanted to kind of introduce what's coming, and we'll hope you'll join us there.
Do you have any other feedback for my personal episode besides one thing you wanted to ask about?
No, it wasn't really about that. It kind of just set up me talking about it. I can say one of my favorite things you talked about was being a default parent versus an active parent and an equal partner parent. And just because someone is the default parent doesn't mean you can't be an active parent. And that is in the pursuit of an equal parenting ship. Whatever that looks like in your home, it may not look equal to the world, but whatever works for you is really what matters. What both of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy you picked up on those.
I really liked it. Thank you. All right. We will see you next week for our first installment of the Dear Mama series. We can't wait to grow with you.
Thanks for growing with us. Bye.
Bye.
Boy, girl, mom and dad, gotta wash those butts together. It's a trip, but we'll guide you through with tips and tricks for boys and girls too.